Hey guys, it's Core Ross and What's Six News. Today we are doing a little bit of theorizing with Rainbow Six Siege and Operation Health 2.0. As there was recently a little rumor saying that in year 9 of Rainbow Six Siege, there would be one season that did not have a brand new operator in it. And of course, it started speculation that there might be an Operation Health 2.0, and there is no substance to this leak at all, so this is, could be completely fake and most likely is. However, it did kind of spark my thought process on this. Because for many years after the original Operation Health, I haven't seen a reason to have a new Operation Health to pause the game for a bit to fix things. However, in the last year, I have definitely seen a lot more reasons why I think there could be a really good idea to have like a 6 month pause. So have one season come out, then the next season be Operation Health, and of course the total of that time would be about 6 months, where they can maybe do some rather big overhauls and fixes to the base systems. Because right now we have multiple big issues. Server stability seems to be a big one. It's getting better right now and it's not as bad as it was. But for basically 2 seasons, it was almost going down every single day. And we know that they use big ass data centers by like Microsoft and Amazon. So the idea that the hardware is having the issue is probably not the case. So something else is going on there that's causing some fundamental break. And the fact that it's taken this long for them to seem to get it under control, or at least a little bit, is a bit of a worry, because that's at least 6 months of time to get that kind of solved. And it's not yet completely solved too. There's also been a lot more of the same bugs and issues kind of cropping up over and over again, with their ability to fix them being harder and harder, or it looks like it from the outside. The other thing is they'd have shortened down to just a 2 week test server for the new season, and it seems like a lot of big issues make it through to the live server more than it was previously, or at least my interpretation of that. So yeah, my opinion of whether or not there should be another Operation Health has changed within the probably last 6 months to a year, and my vision of it is kind of interesting. So let's just say we take the current year's roadmap, and we say that season 3 this year looks a little bit light on content. There's not much in there. Unless they have some sort of surprise for that season that you're just not telling us about yet, it looks like quite an empty season. So let's imagine that this would be our Operation Health 2.0 next year, this season. And the way I would envision it is that most of the changes, just like Operation Health 1, would not be player facing. A lot of it would be going into the foundations of the game and just cleaning things up in a way that hopefully somehow makes things better for the developers to then build on in the future. And they have previously said that that was what Operation Health 1 did. It kind of fixed a bunch of stuff and then it was easier to build from there. But I don't know if they can actually have an Operation Health 2 and kind of fix any of that stuff further. It might well be that the whole idea is not a good one. The developers, of course, will be the ones to decide if they're going to do it or not. But it does make me wonder, and I'm very curious, if a no operator season could be a really good idea. There's also a possibility here of a Operation Health Light, as I would maybe call it, where there's no new operator, but the focus is on one or two current operators and they get like a major rework of their gadgets in that season. So instead of having a brand new operator come in, the focus ends up being building, basically two new gadgets for current operators that need a complete revamp. That would be actually extra cool. Let's just imagine two reworked operators in this season. That could be sweet. I actually like that idea a lot. But the problem is that doesn't really fix the issues I'm seeing in the game these days. So although I like the idea of that, maybe no operator and maybe just reworks, it wouldn't be actually helping the game's kind of health at all. So we're kind of probably going right back to the Operation Health 2.0 idea. Now at this point, I'll actually ask you guys, what do you think of having a no operator season? And let's say it's not just in year 9, let's say it's in every year to continue, that one season has no new operator and is just there to mainly fix the game every year. So every year there's a season where they're just focusing on fixing some major issues, trying to kind of progress the game into a higher quality over time every year, and it's just a standard thing from the future onward. Now let's move on and talk about the problems with the idea of Operation Health 2.0, because there is actually things that could get in the way. First, legal stuff. So the year pass, which has made its return in the last couple of years, seems to be relatively popular, and I don't see them taking it away again. Although they could, of course, just change the wording if they knew that this new Operation Health was coming. That's an advantage over the previous Operation Health, which did come out in a year with a year pass, and it came out and was announced midway through the year. So they still had to legally give everything they said that they were going to give in the pass. So the operators from that season that was basically deleted was pushed into the 2 other seasons, so we actually had 2 seasons with 3 operators in them, which seems pretty crazy these days. And I wonder, maybe they could actually do that. Maybe instead of deleting an operator, they actually put 2 in one season, so they have a bigger gap between operator releases. Another option, but again, I don't really see this being helpful. I would prefer, if they're going to fix stuff, that they have all the advantage to fix stuff rather than having to squeeze 2 operators into a season that could honestly just cause more technical problems. They also could reduce the price of the pass that year, but I'm sure there's still going to be a battle pass. So with that being the same price, it probably would still, a year pass would still remain exactly the same. Because I really doubt they would stop making the battle pass, because I think that's a big money maker. And also, I think the battle pass, from what I can see in the comment section, the battle pass is now the #1 thing people play the game for to progress through, rather than, of course, playing the game for fun. But yeah, that's been a little bit of speculation on Operation Health 2.0 if it ever were to show up in the future, and how my opinion on how I didn't believe it should ever return to now thinking, I could totally see it coming back. So I'd now love your guys' feedback in the comments below what you would think of a season with no operator in the future.